Hi, I'm Stephanie Laska. I lost 140 pounds and created Dirty Lazy Keto. Thanks for joining me here on the YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and enjoy the show. Well, if you guys are looking for sugar-free cocktail ideas, sounds like you might be, I've got at least 12 tips and tricks to share with you today. And I'm hoping everybody stays to the end because I'm going to do a fun, hands-on, actual demonstration of one of my most favoritist in the world sugar-free cocktail ideas, which will remain secret, or should I tell you? Let's see, maybe if we can hold it together. I love secrets. So it'll be a fun little show and tell, and I've got some of my ingredients behind me. It'll be fun, I promise. Well, here's the thing. I'll give you guys a hint. Maybe you can guess in the comments. Part of what's happening back here is a drink that was inspired, where I learned about this drink on a trip to South Beach, Miami. Did that give it away? But by far, it's one of my favorite sugar-free cocktail ideas. So I'll be sharing how to do that, plus a whole bunch of tips and tricks. But make sure you guys let me know that this topic is interesting to you, sugar-free cocktail ideas. Let me know that this topic is interesting to you by giving the video a thumbs up. And you can even write something in the comments if you want. Tell me how excited you are. I love to share with you a little inspiration on every video. I have lost 140 pounds and kept it off almost a decade by enjoying sugar-free cocktails just like the ones I'm going to share here today. So this is the real deal. I regularly enjoy an adult beverage. That's why this is dirty keto, right? So if you're in the wrong place, it's okay. You can log off. I won't judge. There may be some dirty ingredients going on, people. But all the things I'm going to show you today are all sugar-free. They're keto-friendly. They're low-carb. Most of them are either zero-carb or super-duper low-carb. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then continue on. So what's your favorite sugar-free cocktail? I should start off with that. What's your favorite regular cocktail? Which one do you miss the most? Maybe we should start with that. I think it's really easy. My husband's favorite is Bloody Mary. I think it's really easy for people to just grab things already done. You know, you go to Costco, the grocery store, and you see these mixes already done because you're like, well, that's kind of lazy. I can handle that. There's no mixing. There's no problem solving. But the problem is when you buy a mix, you're not necessarily in control of the ingredients, right? So it makes it quite challenging. So I'm going to say no to this one to the husband who picked this up yesterday. He's like, it looks good. Tomatoes are healthy. I'm all, well, not so much. There's a lot of mysterious ingredients in there. I want to just go over maybe what some of the problems could be before we dive into my at least 12 examples. I got the dirty dozen today. I want to give you guys a couple of watch outs though before we even gather our ingredients. First of all, be really careful when you're choosing hard alcohol for your cocktail and make sure it's not the flavored kind. Like for example, this says like cotton candy, blah, 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 blah. Really? Do we need our alcohol to be flavored cotton candy? No, we do not. So be aware whenever you see any kind of weird flavoring like cotton candy or fireball, cinnamon, red hot. For me, those kinds of words usually spell trouble. They usually spell sugar. Same thing with when you see bright colors with alcohol. It's not always the case, but as a rule of thumb, the bright colors, the sugary syrups, the little fun descriptions, a lot of those can be a little bit of a warning sign. Right? So before I'm your bartender today, you see my bartender bow tie? I just want to talk about some of the obvious drinks that you probably know about, but let's get those out of the way. Let's go through some of the like super favorites that people tend to order when they go out. Like how many of you guys like or used to like rum and Coke? Anybody? What about Jack and Coke? Jack and Coke? Anybody of the Jack and Coke people? So that's a pretty easy one to order. You could order a Jack and Coke like at a restaurant or at a bar or at a barbecue if someone was gonna, like me, be your bartender. A Jack and the Coke is pretty easy to make when you make it sugar-free. Just substitute Diet Coke. Bada ding, bada boom. Okay, I figured we'd start off with some easy sugar-free cocktail examples. So don't get all hangry at me. But that's easy, right? Bada boom, bada bing. Make it the same way you used to make a cocktail and you're good to go. Now, it doesn't have to be just Jack and Coke. You know, we mentioned rum and Coke. Rum and Coke is a good alternative as well. Just go ahead and use that Diet Coke and then use the rum of your choice. Now, surprisingly, the gold rums, like the spicy rums, they're still good to go. It's where you get into like the Malibus that are like coconutty flavored. Those are going to have some added sugar. But just regular old rum, those are 0 grams of net carbs per serving. And a serving size, don't be trying to over pour. That's 1 serving size right here. Now keep in mind that when you are in ketosis and you're on like dirty lazy keto or a low carb diet, alcohol will affect you differently. Raise your hand if you notice that, where you're like, whoa, I'm a cheap date. That's on purpose. That makes sense because you're eating less carbs, so you have less available carbs in your stomach, right? It's not like you're eating pasta and bread and all that kind of heavy stuff, potatoes. You don't have all those available carbs flying around available to help you digest the alcohol. So that's why the alcohol hits you like boom, 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 very fast. So you have to be careful of that, okay? You might be done, one and done, or your tolerance might be a lot different. I do get a lot of emails from folks saying, well, my favorite cocktail is a gin and tonic. Can I still have a gin and tonic on Dirty Lazy Keto? Or is gin and tonic a sugar-free cocktail idea? And I say, well, yes and no. Gin and tonic, okay, let's start with the gin. Gin is 0 grams of net carbs because gin is a hard alcohol. The plain hard alcohols, again, 0 grams of net carbs. Score. But the tonic, now that's where you get into trouble. So this is an example of tonic water right here. And I was taking a look at the nutrition label on the side, and it has 17 grams of sugar, 17 grams of carbs. We're not doing that. Now, when I go to like a bar or restaurant and I want to order like a gin and tonic, I get really stressed out because I can't remember which one is sugar-free. Is it tonic or is it soda water? Tonic, soda water. I get them totally confused and then I stress out and then I don't know what to do. If that happens to you, stick with something more simple like maybe Jack and Diet Coke or rum and Diet Coke. That's okay to do that. Or you can specify that you want sugar-free tonic water. Okay, you have to specify. Ask if they have it, sugar-free tonic water, or maybe instead of tonic water, substitute something like a bubbly water, like a seltzer, sugar-free water like Perrier. This is going to have 0 grams of net carbs. This will be a better sugar-free cocktail idea for you, potentially. Now, it doesn't have to be so fancy. Like if you are out on the town, that's one thing. But when you're in the privacy of your own home, you might make it, I don't know, maybe a little bit different. And that's okay too. I brought a couple more ideas. I think it's fine to kind of do you and play around with these things. There's all sorts of new sparkling waters on the market now. In fact, my grocery store, like half of the aisle that used to just be soda, half of it now is devoted to these flavored sparkling waters. Now, of course, be sure to read the nutrition facts label, but in general, I would have to say most of these flavored waters are 0 grams of net carbs. So those can be a fun alternative. I'm like, woo, already knocking stuff over. Also, ginger ale. There's sugar-free or diet available or the 0 sugar. Don't you love how they're calling that out in the label? And all sorts of brands make these. You don't have to be all high and mighty. You can be all crazy and maybe mix around with some of your other sugar-free sodas, like maybe even diet root beer. What could you do with that? Tell me what your idea is. Maybe you have a current sugar-free cocktail you're using and you could share it with the group. Put it in the comments. I think it's helpful, don't you, to kind of hear what other people do. It's easy to get down on ourselves like, oh, I can't do that. It's weird. Why not? Who cares? One of my favorite drinks, we're all grown-ups, is vodka with Bang. I know. I'm like trying to be one of the cool kids, apparently. If you haven't had Bang, they are fabulous. My favorite flavor is cotton candy. This one, not so much. It was rosé. It was on sale. I also like their cherry Coke. They have a apple one. They have all sorts of fun flavors. And they are full of caffeine. Woo! Super duper unhealthy. So if you have a heart problem, this is not the cocktail for you. But if you're like me and you like a little bit of energy and excitement in your life, you know, give this a shot. The Bang drinks are all sugar-free, 0 grams of net carb. And your alcohol that you're mixing with, like vodka, as long as it's plain, not flavored, this is also 0 grams of net carbs per shot serving. Boom. You can be more old school if you don't trust the Bang. This one's, I think, a little bit easier to order when you're out and about. Like if I'm in Las Vegas or at some kind of club. Not like I go to these types of places very often. But when I do, I feel like this drink is on point. I'm still kind of cool and trendy, even though I'm super old and a mom. But I can get a sugar-free Red Bull with vodka. In Vegas, it might set you back $18, even 20, 26, depending on how cool your club is. I know, right? I'm so sad. I'm such a boomer. Such a boomer, I know. Sorry, kids. But really, it's pretty tasty. Don't judge. I wanted to start off with some of the easier ones. Now, some folks in my Dirty Lazy Keto Facebook support group, that's you, they like, or they've shared in the group about a dirty Dr. Pepper. Now, I have not tried this, but apparently this is a thing where they take a dirty Dr. Pepper, that would be a diet Dr. Pepper, the cream soda version or the plain. They're going to add their alcohol of choice, like a vodka, and then add a little bit of half and half or heavy whipping cream. Who knew? Over ice. I don't know. Have you tried it? They call it the dirty Dr. Pepper. I might need to try that myself. Maybe later. It's not quite 5 o'clock here. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, but maybe not right here. Anyway, so share so far which drink you might order or which one you like to order that we've covered so far. I think we're about halfway through our list. Anyone? Anyone willing to share? So now I want to get a little bit more advanced. Those were kind of the simple couple of ingredients only. Let's get a little bit more advanced, shall we? How about a margarita? Do any of you like margaritas? Anyone? Margaritas? What I like to do when I'm making this kind of sugar-free cocktail idea is I start off with some Jose Cuervo tequila, aka, and any kind of tequila. All the tequilas are 0 grams of net carbs per serving. So this is a serving. I know. Pour lightly. And what I like to do is either mix a sour water flavored packet with maybe some bubbly, some plain Perrier or water. Or if I'm feeling wild and crazy and I want to do something blended, I might even add a little bit of lime sugar-free Jello. Isn't that great? How sneaky is that? That's a total dirty keto ingredient that works. Of course, to sell it to yourself, you want to put a little hard salt, like coarse salt, along the rim of the glass. And I have a great recipe for this, in particular, inside Dirty Lazy Keto Cookbook, the 5-ingredient. And it even has it's called the Glow Stick Margarita, which is pretty fancy, very similar to what I just showed you. And it has a glow stick as your stir. Very cool, right? I'm trying, people. I got to keep up with the cool kids because I'm getting up there. But really, you can make, you know, some of these favorites that you're used to, like a gin and tonic, Jack and Coke, rum and Coke, margarita. You can make all these things in a sugar-free way. You just have to be a little creative with your ingredients. That's okay, yeah? It might taste slightly different. That's okay. Just have another and then you won't notice. Just kidding. Drink responsibly. How about a mimosa? Do we have any mimosa fans out there? A mimosa is typically some champagne, good stuff, yeah? And then a little orange juice. Now, this is not orange juice. I recognize that. This is something entirely fake, but for me, it does the trick. It's got the right color. It's got some fruit going on. It's 0 sugar. It's Minute Maid. I may not use my best champagne to make a mimosa using this Minute Maid 0 sugar item, but I certainly could use a bottle of the cheap stuff. And I just want to call out the number of carbs in this is 1 gram of net carb per 8-ounce serving. So that's a pretty hefty dose. And you probably wouldn't need all that. If you like your mimosas like me, it's mostly champagne with a little bit of orange juice. So that way you can get the carbs down even lower. And champagne, just as an FYI, is probably your lowest net carb of all the white wines. It'll, depending on the brand, but it's about roughly 1 gram of net carb per serving of champagne. That's a reason to celebrate. Yeah? Serious. So besides a mimosa, another popular favorite, perhaps also in the morning, depending on your lifestyle, is a screwdriver. How do you make your screwdrivers? There's a lot of different options, but most people are going to use what? Orange juice and then maybe a little something, something. You can see how these things are easier and easier to do once you're getting a little bit more flexible with the ingredients, right? Are you on board yet? Do you feel me? Right? I got a few more here. I'm going to dig out my supply. All sorts of fun ingredients here. It kind of fell over in my large bucket of items, so I'm going to pull them out. Oh, here we go. Sea breeze. Have you heard of a sea breeze? Do you know what's inside of that one? For a sea breeze, I like to do a variety of little tricks. Now, normally it might have some cranberry, which there are some really low-carb cranberry juices on the market. I did have one, but I finished it. I know. And I threw away the bottle. I was so mad. But I also found the sparkling ice black raspberry, which is kind of a similar color. So I might use that. I would use some vodka here. This is Kettle One. And some ice brand. This is the house brand from my local grocery store. But ice, these are 0 grams of net carbs, kind of like flavored sodas. And this one is grapefruit. So you can see how a sea breeze could be made using these items. And you can get a little creative. Wouldn't you agree? You don't have to do everything according to the way it's supposed to. You can maybe take some dalliances. Is that the right word? I'm your bartender, so I can authorize this. It's okay to break the rules. Why not? Have a little fun. Pina Colada is another one that people love, and they're always like, well, how do I make Pina Colada? I mean, first you need to kind of come up with a pineapple substitute, right? This one's by Crush. It is a very low net carb powder. It's like 0 for a third of a packet. Also, again, the ice brand. This is a pineapple. So old. It's a pineapple coconut ice drink. So it's like a bubbly, sugar-free soda. You could also use just some orange juice. This is not orange juice. This is a water flavor enhancer from Walmart. Of course, you're going to throw in a little bit of your alcohol, yeah? And for a pina colada to be proper, you want to add some of that deliciousness, which is, in this case, coconut milk. I love the canned stuff. I get these at the dollar store. I know you may not have the same dollar store that I do, but most supermarkets will sell this. It's a premium blend, like 12 to 14% milk fat or coconut fat, coconut milk in a can. It's different from that little stuff in the carton that you put on your, fake keto cereal. This is from a can, and it's super heavy and fat, and it's fantastic. But when you blend all these things up, it makes a big difference. So did that give you a couple of new ideas, I hope? We talked about the screwdriver, which could be like more of the orange juice. Let's see what happened to my orange juice. Oh, here it comes. It could be your like fake orange juice, and then you could mix that with your vodka for your screwdriver. Or instead of that orange juice, you might use water flavor enhancer with a little vodka. And before you know it, you've had a delicious and quite satisfying sugar-free cocktail alternative. So that was like 12. I know, right? That we're humming along here today. And I promised you guys that I would be talking to you about my favorite cocktail that I learned about in Miami. Did you guess what it was? Did anyone? Did you guess what it was? And it's inside the Dear Lazy Keto 5-ingredient cookbook. I have it marked here. Dun, 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 dun. It is on page, man, the glasses. It's on page 204 if you want to follow along. And I'm going to show you a picture of what it's going to look like. Did you get what it was? This is the Tipsy Tiki. I'm already tipsy. The Tipsy Tiki Mojito. The mojito is such a delicious, refreshing, low-carb, sugar-free, easy to make, and the recipe with all the max are inside this cookbook, along with a whole bunch of other recipes. But let me show you how to make it, okay? Were you eyeing these over here? I mean, yes, you can cheat. You can just do this, and then you're done. Did anyone think of that? I mean, they do have these sugar-free alternatives, right? Like this is by Skinny Syrups, and you can just go, just one and done, or add it to your alcohol of choice. You know, and they come in different flavors. This one's Cosmo. This one's Mojito. But I want to make it from scratch today. It's really not that hard. So this is what we're going to do. We get out 2 glasses. It's happening. Get out all my materials. Can I light up my, let's see, will it light up? It's my shot glass from the cruise ship. Oh, hey, here we go. Now the party's starting. So I've got my 2 glasses. Da-da-da-da. I better put on my glasses, that way I can follow along. Because you know I'll just be looking for them and then trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do next. Here we go, here we go. Okay. Next, we're going to take 12 mint leaves. All right. 12 mint leaves. Where are my mint leaves? Ta-da! These are fresh from my lawn. And yes, they smell delicious. I'm sure you can buy mint at your local grocery store, but it's super easy to grow. And it grows like wildfire. So I'm going to pick off 12 leaves. So 1, 2, just random. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. I'm going to distribute these equally into 2 tall glasses. Let me hold these up so I can show you here. I'm just putting them, just plain old leaves. They've already been washed, by the way, so don't freak out. Okay. Then you're going to use the handle of a long spoon, like a wooden spoon, something like this, and you are going to muddle them. This is a technical word. I didn't make it up. You're going to muddle or bruise your leaves, and this is going to kind of release the flavor. So just kind of push it around, muddle it, bruise your leaves. It wakes up all the mintiness, and it starts to smell super fresh and fabulous and delicious. Simple. Do I look like a bartender now? Much better, right? Come on, work with me. I'm trying to make weight loss fun. We can't be boring. We got to have a little bit of craziness. All right, so I got that done, and then I'm going to go on to my lime. We're going to cut a medium lime in half. Here we go, my medium lime in half. And you are going to squeeze equal amounts of juice into both glasses. Easy enough. So squeeze. I'll probably do a little better if I really get into it. You can also microwave your lime or citrus. Do you know that? It helps soften it and releases all the deliciousness. True story. So after you squeeze the lime on top of your muddled mint, then you're going to cut your limes into decorative pieces because we want to make our glasses pretty. So I went and did that already. Okay, kind of cut a little slit into the other half of my lime, and I'm going to put these on each side. Oh, that way my cocktail looks all fancy pants, right? You got to have a little garnish so it looks cool. We got to keep up. We got to look good. You know, making food look good and make it look pretty, I think, is half the battle because we eat with our eyes. Would you agree? I do. And then next step, we are going to divide equal amounts of rum, ice, and soda to the glasses and stir. And so what's required for this is going to be 3 fluid ounces, which is going to be 2 shots of plain rum. 2 shots of plain rum. So I have my rum here. This is plain rum, unflavored. And I got my little shot glass here. And we're going to put 2 shots, so 1 shot in each. Okay. Da-da-da-da. And bada-ding, bada-ding, bada-bing, bada-boom. I did a heavy pour on that last one. Who's that one for? Oop. Okay. Party started. And then we're going to do equal amounts of liquid. And this recipe calls for 10 ounces of a diet lemon lime soda. So that could be diet Sprite, diet lemon lime, your choice. A regular can of soda has 12 ounces. So when you're pouring, just leave, a little bit behind. There's no need to get all technical. If you go overboard, that's okay. It'll just make it less potent. You feel me? Like less strong. Or conversely, if you would like to have a super duper strong drink, then put a little bit less, and then you'll have a stronger drink. Woo, almost done. Now we're gonna divide up our ice into the 2 glasses. And it calls for 2 cups crushed ice. Because I'm up here in my studio, I don't have my blender, and I was gonna be here while talking. So I didn't necessarily bring crushed ice, I brought real deal ice. But you wanna put about a cup of ice crushed in each cup. Now, I'm sure there's people from Miami that are just so appalled right now. They're freaking out like, girl, that's not how you do it. No, I understand. This is my version. This is my dirty, lazy keto. I'm trying to do this a little bit differently, a little bit more low carb. I like to do things fast. I don't want to take all day. So I tried my best. Now, we can't enjoy a cocktail until you do something kind of fun with it, right? Here's my sentiment. I got my umbrella and my little thingy do. We're gonna stick that in there. Oh. And my umbrella. My sword. And there we go, friends. We did it. This is gonna be 2 grams of net carbs per serving, and it made 2. That's the recipe, the full recipe. Cheers. Delicious, right? Should I taste it? Woo! Delicious. Hits the spot. And that's not the only alcoholic recipe in the book. I just want to draw your attention. There are a few more, in case you were wondering. I don't want you thinking, well, what else? Inside the Dirty Lazy Keto 5-ingredient cookbook, you'll also find Mommy's Special Popsicles, which are popsicles that also include a little bit of alcohol. There's a bootleg Irish cream recipe. There is, again, the glow stick Margarita, which I mentioned. There is a rebellious Bloody Mary drink, and another favorite is the peppermint white Russian. So all of those in addition to the tipsy tiki mojito, which is the drink that we just demonstrated. There's 100 recipes in all. That's only what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that have alcohol. So if you're not a big drinker, don't worry. It's only 5% of the whole book has got the alcoholic recipes. But all the Dirty Lazy Keto cookbooks do contain a recipe or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 for alcohol, because I feel like it's a normal part of life. We're adults. Just because you're trying to lose weight or lead a low carb keto healthy lifestyle doesn't mean you can't just have a little cocktail once in a while. Would you agree? So I know if you liked this video, I'm going to link up a second one for you that's all about choosing sugar-free low carb alcohol. And specifically, I'm going to do a show and tell about beer and wine, in addition to hard alcohol and spirits. And I get really in depth, and I have a ton of brands that I hold up, like malt liquor, beer, wine examples, and tell you the net carbs for each one. So I will link up that video next, because clearly you like this topic. So feel free to just binge watch. But as promised, mojito, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right, folks? So transformation is possible on the Dirty Lazy Keto diet. I know you can lose weight, even with these fun, creative, sugar-free cocktail ideas. So you can still lose weight. You can still keep it off by having a grown-up drink, just like the ones I shared today. So I believe in you, my friends. I know you can do it. Should we cheers to that? Should we cheers to your weight loss success? Cheers to you, and cheers to me, and let's keep this party started, okay?